Today we're taking a look at the PLX Compact 1x8 from Primary Arms. Let's get right into the first 30-second breakdown. That's where in the first 30 seconds, give or take, I give you guys my exact thoughts on this product before we get into the full review. That way you can just stop watching because now you know exactly why I say about this, or you continue watching and find out why I say these things in further detail, and it does help out with the YouTube algorithm. So the 1x8, this optic is pretty sweet that is coming out here from Primary Arms. So I've had some of their cheaper optics. This one is about $1,500. It has a really nice eye box. One of the first things I noticed is how small this is, and I really like the compact size. I think they did a good job of mashing everything in there and making it smaller so it's not such a chunk on your gun and not nearly as heavy. It comes in at 17 ounces, so it is very light. You have 10 brightness settings, and in between each one is an off click, so you can leave it right in between the brightness that you like. It is daylight bright, has the ACSS Raptor reticle in here, which is a sweet reticle and probably one of the best when it comes to using your reticle, whether that be ranging, measuring, or just being able to use your holds. So there's a lot of videos on this reticle if you guys are interested, but it does have one of the best. The glass is clear and is made from the same Japanese company that makes the Nightforce NX8, which is a phenomenal optic that's on the market. So that is really nice to see that they're made in the same place. So you do know that the glass is going to be very nice in this optic. Your biggest downfall about this, and what I think is going to hold a lot of people back on, is the fact that it is a $1,500 optic. So that is going to be up to you to decide if that's something you can afford. Now let's get into my relationship with Primary Arms. They did send this to me and I did not spend my own money on this. I have been a longtime customer of Primary Arms. I've bought stuff from them in the past, but this one was sent to me. So let's get into the full review and go over why I say the things that I did in the 30-second breakdown. So when I first got this optic, my original thought is I'm going to run an offset red dot on this because I think when you have something with higher magnifications, like anywhere from that 3 to 8 times, it's good to have a 1 times option. If you're stuck on that 7 times or 6 times, you're able to rotate and then go to or lift up if your optic's on top and be able to have that 1 times for quicker target acquisition and shooting. Is it an absolute necessity? No, but I thought it was something important with this rifle that I wanted to do. Originally, I had a 3 to 24 on this, and I was kind of having some fun with it because it was really different than all the other setups I usually run, so I wanted to try something different. And then when I got this, I went ahead and put this on. Now, the first thing that I noticed when I started shooting this is I didn't really think I needed a offset. I really didn't find the need or necessity after I was shooting this on the 1 times. I felt very comfortable with this. The eye box is large, which is really 2 things you're looking for when you're looking for a good LPVO. You're looking for clarity and you're looking for that use of the magnification. So the problem you run into with some of these cheaper optics is, yeah, cool, I've got 8 times, but do I have to jam my head in here? Do I have to like look around and try to find that reticle because the eye box is so small? The eye box on this is very usable. So that is the 2 things I always look for, is that clarity and the actual use of the magnification, because you can say, I have 50 magnification, but if you can't use 30 or 40 of those, what's the use of saying that? But this is a good quality 1 to 8 magnification. So you're able to use all eight of the magnifications you're able to use. And the next thing I noticed right away, which might have been first when I opened this box, was the size. This thing is really small compared to some other LPVOs on the market that have the 1 to 8. I have tested quite a few different companies' optics, and they've all been a little bit larger. So this one is a really nice size. I love how small these companies are able to make these over the years and being able to upgrade and make these better and improve them. I'm really happy with the size of it. It's not bulky on my gun. It doesn't take a ton of space. It's very lightweight at 17 ounces, which I think is cool. And I think it looks really nice on the gun itself. So Primary Arms did a really good job of making this as compact as possible, with being able to keep all the features and having useful features as well, and not taking away from other things. Like, okay, yeah, we'll make it smaller, but we'll make the eye box garbage, or we'll make something else not so good to make it smaller. So I think they did a good job of making it smaller and keeping all those nice features. So now let's go into something that people always ask about when talking about or reviewing Primary Arm optics, and whenever people ask me about them, this seems to be one of the bigger questions, and that is it daylight bright? So earlier in Primary Arms' time, they made some optics that weren't necessarily super daylight bright, and people had a big problem with it. So it's always a question I get asked. I like having daylight bright optics. If you can do it, why not? I'd rather have the option to be able to make it burn my retinas out if I want to, and I can just turn it down if I don't want to. I haven't had any problems being able to set this up to 10, going outside and shooting in the sun and being able to see my reticle. So it is daylight bright, has 10 brightness settings. Now, battery life. This does have an auto shut off feature, but I can't find anywhere that tells me the battery life. So I'm not sure on how long this battery lives. I've had this on this gun for a while and I've had no issues with the battery, so I can't tell you, yeah, okay, this is the time frame of the battery, how long it's been. I'm gonna continue to do some research and talk to some people, see if I can get a more narrowed down number on that. If I do, I'll put it in the thing, or you're probably already seeing it and you're probably like, why is he still talking about this? It's right in front of me. But at the time of me filming this, I don't know that. So now that we talked about the brightness, let's go over the reticle. So this is the Raptor ACSS reticle, and this is a sweet reticle. I'm gonna show you guys some POV. If I haven't already showed you of this, you are able to do measuring, distancing, you're able to lead your target if they're running, your holdovers, your distances. So if we're out shooting at 300 yards, I'm able to just put it on the 300-yard mark and shoot, and it should be good, which in my experience, I've had really good luck with this. Me and Aaron have really been getting into mid-range shooting, that 300 to 400 yards, 300 to 500 yards, and we've had really good success with these primary arm scopes. He has the older version of these, and I have the newer one, and we went out the other day for like 2 hours, just sat down and really dialed these things in and made sure all your holdovers were correct, and they were great. It was really cool to go out there and actually use this reticle as it was intended to, and use all the features that it offers. So there's other videos going over just the reticle, so if you guys are interested, go ahead and search that. It would take me 10 minutes to go over all the details on this, but I'll give you guys a bunch of B-roll here to take a look at. But it is, in my mind, one of the most useful reticles on the market because of all the features that it gives you. So this is a first focal plane. Just to give you a quick idea of what that is, if you don't know, there's first and there's second focal plane. So which one's better? I mean, it's kind of personal preference. They say first is better because it's more expensive. So first, your reticle zooms in and out as you zoom, which means your BDC and your holdovers and everything are always going to be accurate. So if I'm on 1 times, it's gonna be accurate. If I'm on 3 times, if I'm on 8 times, it's always going to be accurate because that reticle is moving with you. A second focal plane, that reticle stays the same no matter what your magnification is. Some people like that because they don't like having that super tiny reticle and then getting it really big as they go to the 8 times, but some people prefer the first focal plane. So again, it's gonna be a personal preference. I personally like the first focal plane. I think it's nice. I like being able to know that my BDC is always correct, opposed to having to make sure it's at full magnification to make sure it is correct, as it is in the second focal plane. So again, personal preference. Is one better than the other? Maybe, but it's gonna be up to you to decide which one's best for you. So now let's talk about the glass and the clarity. So like I said in the 30-second breakdown, this is made from the same Japanese company as the NX8. And that is a really, really popular scope. And you're gonna get very similar view through this one, understandably, because it's made through the same company. So really glad to see the primary arms went up to that higher end and went with that route. It's hard for me to say, here's the B-roll of me looking through the glass because it's me filming through, so it doesn't really give you the best idea. So you either just have to take my opinion on it or get one for yourself and just hold it up and look through it and be able to see that clarity. But just know it is made from a reputable company, so you shouldn't have any problems with the clarity. So now going into your price tag of $1,500, some people are gonna look at that and be like, whoa, it's the primary arms. Why is it $1,500? It's because primary arms put a lot of stuff into this and really good features, and they made a great optic. So I'm not saying this is perfect or for everybody, but that is the price tag. Your $1,500, that's up to you to decide if all the features that I told you about in this video are worth it to you and it's worth the price. Me personally, I think it's a great optic. I'm really happy with it. I'm actually building a new patrol rifle. We put a D-ball on here. I'm gonna do an LPVO. I've got a couple other little ideas. I haven't really quite decided, but I've been throwing some things around here, but I'm actually thinking I'm gonna go with the 1x8 here for primary arms for this, because I really like this optic. I think it's a good price point. I think it has a lot of nice features packed into it. I like the size of it because it's not too large, and for a rifle like this and what I want to use it for, it kind of matches a lot of the features I want. So I think that's gonna be putting on there. Not completely solidified on that yet, but I think that's kind of what I want to go with. By the way, this is also a primary arms mount, so really like the look of it is sharp. This color, I didn't think I would like it, but I dig the color, I dig the look, and it's been secure for me in everything that I've done. I haven't done any kind of like drop tests or anything, but my normal shooting, as you can see in a lot of the B-roll, and you guys know I don't treat my tools very nicely. I just use them as they should be, and I haven't had any problems with the mount or any kind of thing like that. So you can get their mount additionally through their website. So before we end this review, let's go over why a 1x8 opposed to a 1x6 or a red dot or a magnifier, all these other things. So the good thing about a 1x8 is it gives you the ability for positive ID. It gives you the ability to shoot more accurate at longer distances. So those two things are fairly important in my mind, especially for a patrol or purpose-driven rifle. You're able to see more, gather more intel with that magnification, because you'll be able to zoom a lot farther. Say somebody is 150 yards away, okay, zoop, Now I can see I actually just unzoomed it, but it was already on 8. So if I wanted the full effect, I couldn't just not zoom it. So now let's go this way. Boop. So now you're at 8 times, and now you can assess and look around and see things, maybe see hands or what they're doing a little bit better. So that is the main purpose behind the 8 times, is the ability to gather more information and be able to put more accurate shots down range because you're closer. And then obviously you have like your reticles and your BDC and everything to be able to actually use holdovers and measurements and all those things, opposed to your red dot, which is a dot, or you can go with the magnifier from Primary Arms with that, which has a range and everything in it. There's a review here if you guys are interested. That's actually a pretty cool magnifier that it goes with a red dot. So you have the dot of a red dot, and then you flip the magnifier over and it gives you a bunch of like information inside the magnifier, which is pretty cool. And that's etched as well, so it doesn't need a battery. So just a random other optic if you guys want to take a look at. But so far, had a lot of fun with this. Still gonna plan on test this. I want to stretch this ZEV out and see how far I can get this thing, because this is a nice rifle. The barrels are good on these, and I've heard a lot of good things about a longer distance shooting with this. So the goal is to get this as far as I can accurately and consistently and see what I like, and then I'll give you guys a review on this rifle to kind of update you guys on where things are. So my goal, as always, is to help you guys spend your money in the best way possible, whether that is, okay, the things you told me in this video, I don't want this, or, okay, yeah, these all match the things I want instead of my price point, I'm definitely gonna purchase it. That is always the goal in the end. So if you guys wanna help support the channel and the things I do here, a couple ways to do that down in the description are some discount codes from companies I trust, and there's a link to my link tree with companies like Primary Arms. If you wanna order one, use my link tree, that helps me out, and like Brownells, Premier Body Armor, Aero Precision, you can order anything from those as well. A couple of companies that support me and the things I do here in the channel are Howitzer, Brownells, and Hold Up Display. Howitzer's a clothing brand that donates 5% of proceeds to charity, which is super cool, and they donate a ton of money, and they do a ton of other stuff like supporting your veterans, wounded warriors, law enforcement, sending them to training for free because they realize there's a lack of training out there. And then they also collaborated with me with his shirts and made TA shirts. So here's some pictures of me modeling with my brother for your guys' pleasure. And if you guys want to pick one up, I would love for you to do that. And there's a link down in the description for those. Brownells is a company that helps me a ton doing all of this. I couldn't do it without them, and they are such a phenomenal group of people. And you can use code TA10 to save 10% off on $150 or more, and that helps you guys be able to buy cool products and build awesome guns and be able to save a little bit of money. And then Hold Up Displays, obviously these guys that provide the racks, absolutely love their stuff. It's so cool to be able to hold everything here. If you guys are interested in that video in the vault room, you can check that out here. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all.